Hello, and welcome back to the Little Old Lady channel. Today we're on the Rue Jules Ferry in Clugnat, a street named after one of France's most influential and controversial political figures of the 19th century. But who was Jules Ferry, and why do we find streets bearing his name throughout France? Born in 1832 in Saint-Dié in eastern France, Jules Ferry rose to prominence during the early Third Republic, serving twice as prime minister and holding various ministerial positions between 1879 and 1885. But his legacy rests primarily on two pillars: his revolutionary education reforms and his aggressive colonial policies. First, let's look at education. In the early 1880s, Ferry introduced a series of laws that fundamentally transformed French education. These laws, now known as the Jules Ferry laws, established free, mandatory, and secular public education in France. Before Ferry's reforms, education in France was largely dominated by the Catholic Church, expensive and not universally available. Many children, especially in rural areas like our own Cruz department, had limited or no access to formal education. Ferry believed that universal education was essential for creating informed citizens and strengthening the Republic. His reforms made primary education compulsory for children aged 6 through 13 and removed religious instruction from public schools, replacing it with civic and moral education. Ferry's vision included standardized curricula, professional training for teachers, and schools accessible to all children regardless of social class or gender. The famous Hussards Noirs de la République, the Black Hussars, as the new generation of teachers were called due to their black academic robes, spread across France, bringing education to every corner of the country. But there's another side to Ferry's legacy that we must address: his colonial policies. While reforming education at home, Ferry was also one of the most ardent advocates for French colonial expansion abroad. Under Ferry's influence, France significantly expanded its colonial empire, particularly in Africa and Indochina. He famously declared that superior races have a right and duty to civilize inferior races, a statement that reveals the racist theologies underpinning European colonialism of the era. Ferry advocated three main arguments for colonization: economic opportunities for French industry, strategic competition with other European powers, and a so-called civilizing mission to bring French culture and education to indigenous populations. Ironically, the same man who championed universal education in France supported educational systems in the colonies that were designed primarily to train colonial subjects to serve French interests, rather than provide true equal opportunity. Today, as we walk along this quiet street in Clugnat bearing Ferry's name, we confront a complex legacy. On one hand, his education reforms created the modern French school system that has educated generations of citizens. His emphasis on free, secular education accessible to all remains a cornerstone of French society. Yet we must also acknowledge how Ferry's colonial policies contributed to exploitation and cultural suppression across continents, with consequences that continue to shape international relationships today. Jules Ferry's name on this street reminds us that historical figures rarely leave simple legacies. As we reckon with both the progressive and problematic aspects of our past, we can appreciate Ferry's contributions to education while critically examining the colonial ideology he championed. Thank you for joining me on this historical journey. If you've enjoyed learning about the namesake of this Clugnat street, Please like and subscribe to the Little Old Lady channel for more explorations of the rich history behind our everyday surroundings. In my next video, we will explore what has become of the nearby missing chateau. Until next time, a biento.